There is a wealth of little tech demos and interesting VR experiments available to download for the Rift. They may not hold your attention for as long as fully fledged games, but they are just as vital to the development of the medium, and act as fascinating demonstrations of VR's potential. Knabe, aka Tamulur, is a software developer based in Berlin who has been producing a steady stream of such experiments for some months. His demos stand out because they are both inventive and well produced. Knabe takes care in using the right 3D assets and sounds to build scenes that are a cut above a mere proof of concept test. They are lovely experiences in and of themselves. In this video we look at 5 of Tamulur's most recent demos. They all experiment with perception in a virtual world. One with your sense of self, another with your sense of space, and a third with your sense of time. The 2 most recent demos employ binaural sound and so require headphones. There are 2 other demos that make use of the Razer Hydra, which I've no doubt are well worth trying as well, if you have access to one. The Ambient Occlusion room explores the notion that it is easier to get a good spatial understanding of a scene if it is full of untextured objects than a fully textured rendered room. And that textures are most useful when you are focusing on what a specific thing is, not where. In this room, textures are only applied to an object if you are looking straight at it. Unfortunately, there's no real call for rapid spatial awareness in the demo, so Torha's hypothesis never really gets tested. But there's no denying that it is a strikingly beautiful effect. It is reminiscent of the runner vision aesthetic from Mirror's Edge, although that game used bright, unreal primary colours to highlight points of interest. Here it is us that defines the focus, and that gives the style a completely different aesthetic meaning. Maybe the perspective of an investigator, or a character with extreme, perhaps debilitating focus. If you're interested in adopting this visual style into your game, then the demo provides a number of options for you to see what might work best. You can change the area of influence to just texture a single object, all objects in close proximity to you, or everything within a cone. You can have the textures get clearer the more centered they are, or to simply toggle on or off. Knock Knock is a simple demonstration of binaural sound, but delivered with an ingenious premise. You are sitting at a desk when you start to receive cryptic messages on your computer screen. They tell you that a mysterious girl is here and wants to see you, but if you look at anything more than her shadow, you will lose her. These messages are neatly done. A sound alerts your attention, but they only progress to the next line when you're looking at the screen, ensuring you don't miss anything. The binaural sound is mostly very effective. The knock on the door makes you turn your head with a start. The footsteps are really the only sounds that don't feel quite right. However, when the girl whispers in your ear, it is chilling. Combined with the visual cues of her shadow on the wall in front of you, you get an incredible sensation that someone is mere inches away from your head. It becomes a real challenge to resist the powerful temptation to turn and look at her. If you do, she fades out before you can process her features, leaving you alone. The slow opening of this demo discourages you from playing it over and over to catch a good look at her, helping to maintain the mystery, although you probably will sit through it a few times out of curiosity anyway.
Even if you see him coming, you're not ready for the big moments.
3 Voices is another binaural sound demo, this time challenging you to pick out 3 different voices talking over each other. You are on the stage in a large theatre. As you step into the light, 3 actors begin orating one by one. First time round, the 3 monologues are played with standard audio, and then it restarts with full binaural sound. The difference is certainly noticeable. The lighting is arranged as such that you can't see the actors' lips move, which no doubt primarily is to save on animation. It would have been interesting to test how the speaker's lips impacts your ability to pick them out, but to be fair also would have arguably compromised the audio test as well.
Stupid.
whether the pleasure of making a daisy chain would be worth the trouble of getting up and picking the daisies, when suddenly a white rabbit with pink eyes ran close by
very
him.
long before this tale begins.
There was nothing so
He could
very
hurt his leg.
Of course, this experiment could just as easily have been conducted with no visuals at all, but it is a testament to Tamulur's craftsmanship that effort has gone into composing the scene and placing you in an impressive environment.
Not Sunguru, the hare, happened to be passing his cave.
Very deep. So
Inside,
deep indeed
Sunguru
that
realized
no cable could sound it,
ran across the
and
field
many
after
church
once,
steeples
and was just
piled
in
one
time to
upon
see
another.
Ask Socrates is an experiment in shifting perspective. It is designed to encourage you to examine an idea using a Socratic dialogue by typing out a proposition, then switching characters to literally view that idea from a different angle. You are seated in a cosy living room, fireplace blazing, opposite a man who, it has to be said, looks more like an 18th century philosopher than the famous Greek. After you are done typing your idea, the camera swoops round and thrusts you into the head of Socrates to type out a response. The whole conversation is then saved as a text document for you to review later. This is an interesting concept, but it doesn't work particularly effectively as a productivity tool. Typing in the rift is not a very easy task, and you're not afforded much space to structure any given argument. I don't know what it says about me, but I quickly descended into hurling insults back and forth at myself. The main thing worth examining in Ask Socrates is the way in which it switches perspective, and I'm afraid it's probably more a lesson in what not to do. There's nothing inherently wrong with moving the camera between two characters as the transition, but here it is probably a bit too fast to be comfortable in the rift, and the clipping through the head is inelegant. This kind of transition is also problematic for this particular concept. By experiencing being neither character for a moment, it makes it all the more difficult to see yourself as either one, arguably making it harder to take the exercise seriously. Time of Statues is Knabe's most straightforward experiential demo. It consists of a few scenes of you being carried by a towering statue set to a magnificent soundtrack. The sense of scale here is fantastic, and it is a lovely environment to take in. Understandably, as you are riding a statue, the movement is incredibly slow. This is not senza peso. Although it does engender awe, particularly as the other statues turn to watch you, it does so at its own lumbering pace. Time of Statues' stated purpose is to experiment with time perception in VR, but even so it will probably push your patience to its limit. It could probably stand to be almost twice as fast while still evoking the idea of living statues who see time much slower than us mere mortals. Even so, the soundtrack is beautiful and apt, and the choreography of the first few sections is artful enough to make you anticipate the scenery to come. I only stumbled on Torha Knabe's work very recently and really enjoyed an afternoon of playing through his experiments. They are all so thought-provoking and well executed that I'm torn between wanting Knabe to keep producing these experiences and wanting him to start on a more fully featured project. If you're a developer working on a VR game, then you could draw a lot of inspiration from this body of work. If you're just an enthusiast looking for a taste of some of the devices and techniques that we might see in the future of VR, then you should keep an eye on this developer's portfolio. Keep an eye on our portfolio of reviews and features by hitting subscribe.